ASIO has been trending since Thursday, and the reason is they have revealed an unnamed traitor, their words not mine, a retired politician who they believe was cultivated by foreign spies. Now, ASIO boss Mike Burgess has said that a politician has, quote, sold out their country, their party, then to foreign colleagues and advances the interests of a foreign regime. Now, the former Liberal Treasurer Joe Hockey has said to the ABC that he wants ASIO to name the minister, not only because it is believed he may have committed a serious crime, not under new laws but under the old laws, but also because Joe Hockey says this has left an air of suspicion over all former ministers. What do you make of that, Terry? Should ASIO name the politician involved?
Well, certainly I think Mike Burgess, as the Director General of ASIO, knew exactly what he was doing when he made those comments on releasing the annual threat assessment report. And I think having done that, he should have anticipated the firestorm that was to follow. In terms of what Joe Hockey said, I fully agree. I mean, there are 99.9999999 political people, whether they're MPs or political staffers or political operatives in political parties, are actually wanting to do the right thing by Australia in one way or another. We may disagree on what that thing may be across the political aisle, but basically I think everybody is here for Australia and people are loyal to Australia. And if this particular former politician is besmirching the reputations by implication of all people involved in politics in Australia, or certainly parliamentary politics, I think it's legitimate to call for his name. I noticed that on 2GB, talking to Ray Hadley on Thursday, Peter Dutton, I think, came very close to naming who he had in mind, and I don't think we should do that here. And certainly that name has been speculated all over the Twitterverse, particularly since. But having said that, there could be any number of potential candidates for this particular unwanted Guernsey. But certainly I really do think that having put that out there, Mr Burgess, as Director General of ASIO, has identified a threat. Yes, he said that the law as it was at the time was a loophole for this person, but certainly the foreign influence laws that the coalition government put in, and yes, they have had their problems, including, I think, as I recall, discriminating against Tony Abbott and the organisers of CPAC Australia.
That was the first application of the foreign interference laws.
I know.
Now, but
I think the principle and the intention behind them is right. And I think if that politician is sheltering behind a loophole, they should actually be dragged out kicking and screaming from that loophole and exposed to the light of day.
Well, I mean, by not naming them, what might happen is more than one name might pop up inadvertently. Now, before we move to our last topic, I'm just going to read Joe Hockey's statement because I think it's important to have it on the record. He said, and I quote, "For a start, the former politician is a traitor. It wasn't an allegation by the head of our intelligence agency. It was a statement of fact. It is absolutely inconceivable that you would have a former politician representing their community, representing their country, who then goes and engages with a foreign adversary, and somehow they're allowed to walk off into the sunset without having their name or reputation revealed. It makes us all question, as representatives in the Parliament, who we can trust, who of our current and former colleagues can we trust, and that is ridiculous," end quote.
And should I add, walking into the sunset with their parliamentary pension, Alexandra. So basically the taxpayers actually giving them, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to nick off when they've done that, done the dirty on Australians generally and certainly the Australian political system. I think it's reprehensible. That person should be outed in some way.